Welcome back to WTF Sports video. We're going to be doing the week 2 predictions today. And I say we when it's just me. Mason is nowhere to be seen, so we're cranking this out with just me. Let's get into it. So yeah, as I said, I'm going to be doing the week 2 predictions. It's going to be much quicker than it usually is because it's just me. And yeah, let's start it with our fantasy predictions, right? Good options: Justin Fields, Kyler Murray, right? They both have pretty good matchups this week. Fields is playing the Bills. The Bills let up a lot of rushing yards against the Ravens last week. Then Kyler Murray is playing the Panthers, and we saw how that went. I think those are both going to be good starts. The best, no, but good. Chase Brown is another great option in my opinion. They're playing Jacksonville, and Chase he's been playing good football. And then DeAndre Swift is kind of like an out there one, but he got a lot of targets, and honestly, I think he's going to be like a good 15, maybe around 15 point back, which is what you want. And then Murray and Hampton, they're playing the Raiders. It's the Raiders. I mean, they don't look great. They don't look bad, but they don't look great. And Murray and Hampton's going to be good for that. And then Puka Nacua, the Rams, I can't for the life of me remember who they're playing, but I liked his matchup, so I put him on there. And then the Chargers wide receivers, same thing with the Raiders. It's a good matchup. I like it. And Zay Flowers, he had an insane week last week, and the Ravens don't have a crazy hard matchup this week either, I don't think. So I think he's just good. Good pickup. And then Noah Fant, too. He's kind of a weird sleeper tight end, in my opinion. As a Seahawks fan, I got to put that out there first. But he's playing the Jaguars, and, I mean, Joe Burrow hopefully comes back this week. I'm praying. And, I mean, he got a touchdown last week. He was good last week, so I think it's a good double start. And then Tyler Warren, too. The Colts, I think they're playing the Broncos. Yeah, they're playing the Broncos, yeah. And, I mean, why not, you know? I think he did decent last week. Daniel Jones is looking like prime Peyton Manning, so why not? And then, yeah, the Ravens and the Cardinals are the two defenses I think are going to work this week. I mean, as you know, defenses are hit or miss, no matter who they are, so, you know. But I think those are both pretty good matchups. And for the best options, I think Joe Burrow is going to be the best quarterback this week. I said it last week, he was not, but you got to double down. You got to have hope, you know. And then Derrick Henry and Breece Hall, great matchups for both of them. I think they actually play each other. No, Breece Hall plays the Bills, who gave up a lot of rush yards last week. Derrick Henry, don't remember who they're playing, but it was a good matchup, and I think he's going to run a lot of yards again. And then Amon-Ra is playing the Bears. It's an easy. I mean, look what the Vikings did. You know, Amon-Ra is going to come in and do the same thing. And then Devontae Smith is playing the Chiefs. Chiefs did not look good last week. They let Quentin Johnson light them up, so Devontae Smith surely can, assuming that AJ Brown is getting locked up again. And Trey McBride, played the Panthers. I don't think I need to add anything else there. Cardinals defense, same thing. And then Emeka Egbuka, right? They're playing the Texans, but I think Mike Evans is going to draw that number one attention again, and then Egbuka is just going to slide in there and have a great game again. And Chris Boswell, I mean, is a kicker. Any kicker is going to do decent. So, and for our winners this week, though, we have the Commanders beating the Packers tonight. Cowboys are going to come in and beat the Giants. You know, I had a lot of high hopes of the Giants coming in, but they look bad. We have the Seahawks beating the Steelers, which is kind of an interesting one. I think that could really go either way. The 49ers, the Rams are going to win their game. Don't remember who they're playing, but they'll win. And then the Bills, they're playing the Jets. I mean, the Jets look good, but the Bills look way better. And the Dolphins, believe it or not, we have them winning a game. They're playing the Patriots, and yeah, I don't know. It's two bad teams. And the Panthers, not the Panthers, the Jaguars are going to come out and beat the Bengals, right? Crazy pick. They played good football last week, offensively and defense. They played good football last week, so why not? You know, Bengals look rough. 49ers, despite them not having a quarterback, a tight end, two pretty crucial parts when those are two of like the top players in the league at their respective positions. We have them winning. Don't remember who they're playing. I'm just gonna be honest. I gotta get this video out before I go to class in 30 minutes, so I'm kind of rushing through it. And the Ravens, we have them win their game. We have the Lions beating the Bears. Not too surprising. We have the Broncos winning their game against the Colts. Who knows? Knicks would have to turn that around. Cardinals obviously are going to beat the Panthers. The Panthers looked terrible last week. Eagles are going to beat the Chiefs. That one I'm almost 100% sure on. Chiefs just looked bad last week, truthfully, and Eagles look good. And that's about all I need. And then we have the Vikings beating the Falcons, the Texans beating the football team they were playing, and then the Chargers are going to beat the Raiders. That's our predictions for this week. If you disagree with them, let us know in the comments. If you don't disagree with them, cool, thank you. Then yeah, finally to wrap this video up, we have our parlay legs this week, right? And I scoured every single team, every single one, looking for a good line, right? James Conner, 14.1 fantasy points against the Panthers. Last week, whatever his name is, Travis Etienne had a phenomenal game against him, like over 100 yards, something like that. 14 seems pretty easy for a guy who also gets a lot of rushes, and he gets a lot of check down passes. And Puka Nacua over on the 13, like pretty much 14 points. I like that line. I think that's good too. And then Breece Hall, 54.5 yards. He had a great week 1, and he's playing a rush defense that led up like 160 to Derrick Henry. And the same goes with Justin Fields, right? They led up over 70 to Lamar Jackson. So I think like when they had 200 yards combined between their quarterback and running back last week, the Bills let up that much. I think they're going to let up 97 this week, And then I think the Baker Mayfield over 1.5 touchdowns every week is almost free because he just throws the ball so much. And I mean, yeah, you got to take that. And then, especially because it has a 1 point. This is all an underdog, by the way, not sponsored, but also I gotta add the little. I don't condone gambling. If you gamble, do it smart. Only do money you can lose, right? I can't get into some weird. Oh, you made me lose the house, And then Keon Coleman, 45.5 yards. He last week was stood out as their wide receiver 1, and as we could see, the Jets' pass defense couldn't do anything against Aaron Rodgers. So, when they have the MVP playing against them, who knows what's gonna happen? And Chase Brown over on the 15.35 fantasy points. This fantasy points lines have been kind of getting me feeling some type of way because I feel like they're really low. And then you can, instead of worrying about like 6 receptions, it factors everything in. So like they could get a reception for 80 yards, and that's 9 points, opposed to just being 1 reception on the receptions line, like stuff like that. So I've been kind of liking the fantasy points lines if they're right. That's our parlays for the weekend. Yeah, that's the end. Shorter video, just me, but yeah, I mean, if you like, comment, subscribe. I love you till the day you die if you do. And we have videos out like this every week. We have a video on Tyreek Hill this weekend, which will be Friday or Saturday, maybe Sunday. It's gonna be like a longer video. It'll be nice. So look out for that. And then, go watch our other videos. They're all pretty good. Last week we were 8-8 on our predictions. I should have mentioned that, but who knows? So yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Later.